In this video, I'm going to take a look at calling functions with positional and keyword arguments. Consider this computer program. You can see we have a function definition, and here we're going to be calling that function, and these arguments are going to be passed to these parameters, and the function merely adds these up and returns them. But this line's not really important for this video. We're looking at these arguments and how they're passed to these parameters here. We'll firstly consider the 22 and the 14 that are within the brackets of the call, and we can see that they're going to be passed to the A and the B, which are the first and second in the brackets of the function definition. Now, the mechanism for the passing of the 22 and the 14 to the A and the B respectively is an example of positional arguments. They're referred to as positional arguments because of the positions they take up. For example, this 22 is first in the brackets of the call, and this A is first in the brackets of the definition. This is second in the brackets of the call, and the B is second in the brackets of the definition. So you can see the arguments are passed to the parameters based upon their position. Now you can see here we have C and D, and they are keyword arguments, and the C and the D reflect the C and the D here in the definition of the function. Consequently, when you call the function, the C and the D are copied, as you can see. The C assigned 8 is copied to C, as you can see here, and the D equals 6. The 6 is copied to the D, as you can see here. And we refer to this mechanism as keyword arguments. And of course, when this program executes, we're going to get this output. The result is 50. Please take note of these keyword arguments and their position. You can see I've got C equals 8 and D equals 6. I'm going to amend this program, and the amendment is going to be the swapping of these two arguments, as you can see on the next slide. And now you can see I've got D equals 6 coming before the C equals 8. So you can see these positions have been altered compared to the last program we were looking at. Now, when this computer program executes, the 22 and the 14 are going to be passed as illustrated by the animation, and that's positional arguments. Now, this is no different to the previous program we saw. They were passed as positional arguments as well. Now we can go on to look at the keyword arguments, and what will happen here is that the D assigned 6 will be passed to the D. So the D parameter still receives the 6 as it did in the program on the previous slide. And then we can see that the C assigned 8 goes to the C parameter, so C gets the 8 as it did in the previous program. So the fact that we swap these around here has no effect on what the parameters receive here. Whereas if we were to swap these around, it would make a difference. But here you can see we've got keyword arguments. So when we execute this program, we're going to get the result is 50, as we did for all of the previous programs in this video. I would now like to leave you an exercise that's associated with the computer program that's appearing now. If you look to these arguments, you can see that I've got keyword arguments here, followed by these positional arguments. And the question is quite simple. What's going to happen when you run this computer program? Now, if you've watched all the videos in the playlist to date, you should have an idea as to what's going to happen when you execute this piece of code. And I will show you the result of the execution in the next video in the playlist.